Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Oklahoma Esports League. Today, we will be watching some Valorant. I am Jackson, otherwise known as Amnesia. I am yet again joined by Garrett, otherwise known as Fuzzball.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Fuzzball?
I'm doing awesome. We got to watch some Rocket League yesterday, so today we're actually going to be watching Valorant. And then on Thursday, we're going to be airing Siege as well. So we're really, really excited to see those games. Today, we're going to be watching Broken Arrow, who is 2-0, go up against Booker T. Washington, also 2-0. So another couple of juggernauts for us.
Yep.
Going to be really, really excited to watch.
We will be playing on the map Ascent. We will be starting with Broken Arrow on attack and Booker T. Washington on defense. For the Broken Arrow side, we got Nonchalant Asian, B.A. Nightsin, Luke Z, B.A. Real, and Big Tim T. I think I said that right.
Yep.
And on the side of Booker T. Washington, we have Mark836, Hello World, Luca, Banksy, and Daydream.
Hey, Luca, that's an NBA player.
Not spelled like that.
Hopefully he plays as well as Luca does in the NBA. That'd be awesome. But yeah, again, both of these teams 2-0, so we're definitely going to see some good Valorant today. Looking at these comps, is there anything that really stands out to you? I see a couple of things here and there. I'm noticing the Fade on the BA side rather than the Sova. Sova usually a meta pick on Ascent, but Fade just as strong for that info initiator slot, while we do see Booker T going for the traditional Nova pick.
I do find it interesting because Broken Arrow is starting on attack and they're playing a more defensive-sided comp, so the only initiator that they have and the only flashes really they have are the Fade. They do have the Omen Paranoia, but otherwise Fade is the only flashes they have on the team, whereas they also have two Sentinels. So on also a very defender-sided map, it looks like they might just be playing for the defense, which also seems a little interesting to me that they didn't start on defense, but it also might not have been their choice, so I have no idea. Booker T. Washington, though, starting on defense, playing a more attacker-sided comp. You see the classic Sova, you got the KO flashes, you got two initiators to get your jet into sight. Omen Paranoia as well, also good smokes, and the classic Cypher. No Killjoy, which I feel like is the usual Sentinel pick, but again, I guess we'll have to see how this goes.
Yeah, both of these comps looking to play their awkward side, it seems a little bit more. So not the side that they want to start on, but when it's both ways, you know, that's not going to be nearly as bad to be able to see. As we look, it looks like Pistol Round's going to start by taking mid from Broken Arrow here. Looks like that's where they want to start taking some space. And Booker T's actually left mid completely open. Very interesting play one, but I mean, I feel like a lot of stuff usually happens here. On the sites being committed, especially on Pistol Round. Not as much mid space normally taken, and definitely not a 5-man walk up mid.
KO about to get walked on here in tree. Banksy getting some poke shots, going down to 40 HP. That Cypher Cage coming out from the side of Broken Arrow, taking that tree control. Backing up. Banksy taking the smart play. Hello World taking a few shots at Lucy. Not quite getting that pick, though. Luca will get the trade on the side of Booker T. Washington. Bomb will go down for Broken Arrow. Nonchalant Asian taking out Banksy there. Booker T. Washington now in a 3v4 on this retake, but two of Broken Arrow's players low. Mark and Daydream both taking out one. Mark taking out another. Only one player remaining. B8 Nyson does get finally taken out there. Mark on the dominant angle there in heaven with Daydream there to back them up, getting that first round for Booker T. Washington.
Yeah, just seeing that the post plant played by Booker T, they didn't take a lot of additional space on site, and part of that was because they closed the door as they were wrapping in, so they didn't have a lot of additional space to play. All four of them were laying against that wall, and it was really just became a place where Booker T could slowly collapse all of the angles for the rest of site and starts playing to just finish the people who were on those walls. It was a really, really good retake by Booker T, by Booker T after Broken Arrow was able to get that plant down. But again, an interesting strategy being able to wrap towards the mid so fast from the Broken Arrow side.
Yeah, for sure. Now we're going to see Broken Arrow start a bit of a push onto this B site. Instead of that mid this time, Booker T kind of looking still towards that A site. Shock Dart coming out from Booker T, getting some damage there onto the Omen. Sova sitting here. Mark holding this angle. Gonna go ahead and throw that recon dart, try to get something, doesn't quite scan anything out. That Fade Eye will come out from Broken Arrow. The Cage.
Really big commit here by Broken Arrow. Walking out onto site and
Mark taking a lot of gunfights here.
Yeah, being able to get out of his pinch position, putting that Bulldog in a little more of a jeopardous spot. If you're Broken Arrow here, you really just want to be able to take guns and maybe flip the fight by getting those stolen guns. Like that Bulldog that's laying down there in pit. Are they going to try and push for it? Looks like they'd rather play this post-plant, the slow, long time game. They actually do get the Bulldog from the kill, being able to get a real gun as the retake happens for Broken Arrow here.
Paranoia coming out from Hello World, but Real there managing to take them out. Nice in here on this angle. Tim T able to get a nice shot onto Luca there. Banksy, the only one remaining here for Booker T. Washington, gets a spray onto Looksy, but takes the shot through the smoke. An unfortunate thrifty there for Booker T. Washington, managing to buy up, but not quite finishing that round. Broken Arrow doing a good job of just sneaking onto that B site there. Booker T. Washington playing a little bit more towards that A site pressure, but Broken Arrow kind of taking a lot of space onto B before Booker T even realized it. So they were able to get on site really quickly and then just hold those angles, get a couple guns off of the bodies of Booker T. Washington, and secure the rest of that round.
Yeah, losing second round like that on a thrifty like that can be really, really impactful for Broken Arrow here. Almost more heartbreaking for Booker T not getting what should have been a gimme round. But whenever you have those isolated targets and they're able to give up guns like that, it can really turn those fights like we saw during that last round, as we see a lopsided hit towards A and a lot of space being taken by Booker T's Sova here, walking up, being able to confirm pretty much that there's no mid control, and there's so much map space advantage taken by Booker T right now that it's making the rotations very easy for Booker T, knowing that Broken Arrow is in this A main, going to have to commit onto this A site, and there's already 3 standing on the angle, just not an opportune fight. As we do see the wrap, Hello World holding the box, getting spammed out, getting some good damage on a couple of players, but Broken Arrow ending up getting a lot of the trades. Booker T in a 2v5 right now, looking for some plays. Not great positioning from where the Sova and Cypher are left. Gets one, Mark, the Deagle Demon, taking out the Big Tim T.
Daydream looking to get some poke shots here. 2 more remaining for Booker T here. The same 2 that we saw on Pistol Round. The dynamic duo here. Daydream managing to take out one Nightsin, getting a Vandal headshot there onto Mark. 7 HP onto Daydream, but the rest of Broken Arrow knows where Daydream is standing and is able to clean that up. That is an okay round for Booker T, though. They managed to get a couple guns out of their hands, and now their economy is going to be looking better. Now they'll have these full buys to be able to defend a little better here against Broken Arrow. As you can see, though, Booker T kind of playing the same defensive sides each time. We have the Cypher and the Sova sitting over on the B site with the KO, Jet, and Omen on the A site. And what I always like to say about Valorant is such a momentum-based game and an adaptive game. So if you can just adapt to what your team is doing, or what the enemy team is doing, I should say, then that's when you kind of start getting that advantage. So I think once Broken Arrow starts feeling out these defenses, if Booker T. Washington keeps doing these same defensive plays, then Broken Arrow can hopefully start reading that and start getting some momentum in their favor. But for Booker T. Washington's side, what they're kind of looking for is what they're doing right now. We see the Jet on Booker T. Washington's side coming through the spawn. Luca managing to take one out. Real takes out Luca, though. A 4v4 now. Broken Arrow not quite sure where the rest of Booker T. Washington was. That Jet kind of coming as a bit of a surprise from their spawn, not expecting him to be there.
Yeah, Luca
now
was
they're
able to play out aggressive A main. Really took a lot of space at the beginning of the fight. And ended up wrapping all the way to Broken Arrow spawn, threw them off guard, and also notified this rotation was coming. Look, these rotations by Booker T are already here. They're ready to go, looking for this completely. As the solo comes out, a pick from Banksy, going into tree, but Big Tim T trades back out in a 1v3 now with Hello World still watching the mid rotation. He's going to try and clamp this off so he can go and get bombed. Does get the kill. Is able to go back and is now looking for a play. Has the info knowing that 2 players are on A side. Now it's, can he form a 1v1? In 14 seconds, he's going to be restricted to time here, going on to B side.
10 seconds left.
It looks like he's not sure if both players are here or not. He's really, really nervous about it.
The classic dynamic duo again.
Yeah.
The Sova and the Cypher, Daydream and Mark here, pushing this CT. Big Tim T trying to make something happen, does get pinked out by that Sova drone. Daydream managing to push off of that. Mark gonna take this defuse.
Yeah, just a lot of util for Broken Arrow to get through there on that post plant. The Sova and Cypher, again, being able to have this retake with all the information. It's so difficult to win a 1v2 already. With the enemy team already knowing where you are, it's going to be even more impossible to get to that statement. We start seeing the B hit more lean from Broken Arrow as we are tied up here 2-2 going into this Valorant game. And as we were hoping, it looks to be close so far. A lot of good plays on both sides. And remember, the awkward side for both of these compositions. They don't, Broken Arrow doesn't really want to attack, and Booker T doesn't really want to defend. They feel more confident on these opposite sides when we will flip at halftime. So we do start seeing the A hit, and once again, we see this Jet player for Booker T walk out and take this A main, and it's so important for this util that they're dumping into it because they get all this information. The Jet can walk up and say, hey guys, they are not A at all. And as he wraps into the mid here, seeing the vision cone, they are not mid at all. So it really, really confirms where this commit is happening, and the Killjoy ultimate confirms it even more. As we do see Broken Arrow start to walk on site, hitting a couple trips, getting spammed through smokes. Really great Cypher lineup there. Another one as well, 2 more. Oh my gosh, with Cypher trips respawning whenever they don't get hit. A third as well. Maybe Broken Arrow thinks a second time about trying to attack B here with the way that Cypher Daydream just locked down this site.
Yeah, definitely a great round there from Booker T. Washington. I was a little, worried about it at the beginning because we saw Broken Arrow kind of abusing the space a little bit in those first couple rounds and managing to get some push before they were able to just kind of explode on site. Just keep that quiet, and then eventually just explode when they have to. But Booker T kind of started expecting it a little bit better, started playing around it a little bit more, and Mark and Daydream were both able to just get the picks that they needed and shut down Broken Arrow's attack. Broken Arrow looking to swap the sides here a little bit. Not quite a default, but looking a little bit more like a default. Luca taking Looksee out there, knows Nonchalant Asian might be there, doesn't quite get him out though. Does manage to get the pick. A 4v4 here is going to get Cypher darted. Mark taking a nice shot on to Nonchalant Asian there. Hello World gonna throw out that Paranoia. Doesn't quite hit Nightsin though. Hello World not having a lot to do. That Fade ulti is gonna come out. Real here trying to hold this angle. Mark knows that they are there. Tries to throw that Paranoia out to stop the push. Nightsin not aware of Mark's presence. Mark managing to take 2 out. Daydream gets the final kill. Cleaning up Broken Arrow, putting this game 4-2. Booker T. Washington getting these rounds back on this defense here.
Yeah, Broken Arrow's really having an issue when they end up finishing on A site. They really have an issue understanding where they need to stand from their positions, and it's because of this door versus the upper angle. It's really difficult to be able to cover both on either side, and we saw it right there with the Killjoy having her her face turned away from the Sova from Booker T as the retake happened. It was really, really difficult for us to get a straight read on what happened there, just because of the different angles that completely were happening. The mid control at the beginning, I really, really like how Booker T. Washington has been moving their Jet around. So originally we've seen them push out A a couple times, and now we've seen the mid control with the op, and now we see a Jet on B this time, trying to read this play almost. It's very interesting that they keep cycling it up, but with the amount of util that they have, especially recon util, Booker T can kind of afford to do this, being able to get awareness on the map where they don't even have a player. We see a lot of util up the middle lane here.
Is he going to take a peek onto Luca? Luca managing to get that pick onto Looksee is going to back up Broken Arrow. Now knowing that the op is there, we will see Nonchalant Asian starting to lurk up here a little bit on this A side. Gonna peek into Hello World. They both see each other. Not quite any damage. That smoke is going to come out. Does get spotted out by Luca. Luca taking a shot. Doesn't quite hit that though. We still see Mark sitting over on B. Broken Arrow leaning towards this A hit though. We see Real lurking towards that tree side. Hello World managing to get the shot on to Big Tim T. Hello World still sitting behind the boxes, ready for that Paranoia to come out. Nightsin is lurking onto site, doesn't notice it. Nightsin takes the shot onto Hellworld, gets a nice trade. The door is going to get shut by Real there. The Sova ulti gonna come out from Mark. Does manage to take Nightsin out. Real manages to get 2 there, living at only 2 HP. Now at 2v2, Luca and Mark in heaven. Not quite sure where either of Broken Arrow's players are. Nonchalant Asian gonna try to make something happen here. They drop. Luca manages to take the pick. Can Real win this round? With just 2 HP, Mark is going to try to stick this bomb. The knives ready on Luca, managing to get that right click, taking Real out. Another defender-sided retake there for Booker T. Washington.
Yeah, and I think Booker T, if they feel like they can make Broken Arrow land A at the end, they feel really confident with their retake abilities. A lot of these fights is just Broken Arrow going a little too far into A, trying to commit to fights that they really don't have great isolation in or advantage on, and it's really playing into Booker T's favor. We were at 2-2, now 5-2, and 2 of those 3 rounds have ended at the A site. So really, if I'm Booker T, I'm changing my strategy of how we are post-planting A, and really I'm trying to prefer not to land A at the end to begin with, as we do see some mid-control happening here. Maybe they realize that there's a lot of just util happening up this middle, and Booker T is kind of leaning away from it, so trying to take a little bit of that initial control.
Yeah, all of Broken Arrow sitting here in mid. Luca not quite getting spotted out by that Fade Eye. Really close there. Is going to get that peek on to Nightsin. The rest of Broken Arrow knowing where Luca is. Luca not quite sure how many people are there. Manages to take out another onto Real. Daydream going to look to maybe get a peek here too. Decides to dry swing it. Manages to take out Nonchalant Asian. Big Tim T blinded by that paranoia. Looksee trying to make something happen too. Looksee does take out Hello World. Big Tim T getting a shot onto Daydream as well, but Luca and Mark will clean that up, winning Booker T. Washington yet another round. And it's like I said before, Valorant, such a momentum-based game, and Booker T. Washington certainly has it in their favor right now. What Broken Arrow is looking to do now is try to get one round and start forcing that momentum back into their favor. Again, like I said, though, very defender-sided map on Ascent. So Broken Arrow being 2-6 right now, if they can get 2, even just 1 more round, that's honestly not too bad for them going onto defense, especially with the 2 Sentinels that they have on their side.
And this is an incredibly important round for Broken Arrow, really selling out to be able to buy for their team here. They need to get this round, or they're going to be on another 2 or 3 round slide, and we might be walking into the half 10-2 at this rate. So very, very important that they try and get more map control, and I think slow down the pace a little bit. They're kind of committing on their first option every single time, and they need to be able to bait out util, kind of trick these rotations a little bit from Booker T, and look to see where the angles are not covered as much. Very similarly, on the last round, we saw them pushing up the middle and decide to commit to it, and they keep walking into where Luca is.
Nonchalant Asian getting a nice one onto Hello World. Luca getting the trade back onto Looksee, though, in another 4v4 scenario. Broken Arrow still kind of in a bit of a default here. Does manage to get Mark pulling out. Right now, we see Nightsin and Real over on B site.
Walking into that one way, again, another really good setup from Daydream, and I think that's part of the fear they have here with the B site, is they know this Cypher is set up here, and with these one-ways, it's really, really difficult for them to walk onto site, even when they think they have space. In the mid-fight, Banksy taking out Nonchalant, being able to get even more map space is really pinching Broken Arrow in a rough, rough round.
Yeah, Daydream here, 30 HP. Not quite sure that he's there! Big Tim T and Real weren't aware that Daydream was back there. I think they thought he was still at CT, but manages to take both of them out. Mark and Daydream both with 12 on the scoreboard here. Luca not far behind with 10.
Broken Arrow, pick your poison. Do you want Luca with the op on the A side, or do you want the Cypher setups on B? It's really, neither one's an awesome one to walk into, and they're realizing it very, very quickly.
And the interesting thing, too, is that Broken Arrow is getting value and is getting the bomb planted, but Booker T. Washington is just doing a good job of getting these retakes back on them, using their utility in just the right way, and managing to get that retake. Another default here for Broken Arrow, though. We see Looksee with Nonchalant Asian over in that tiles area. Nightsin and Big Tim T in mid as well.
Oh, the
with
greedy
Real
lurk
not
out
quite
on a
behind.
default round.
Daydream and Mark coming out, does get spotted by Looksy. Mark does take out Looksy. Booker T. Washington not quite having the weapons. Looks like all of them might have Sheriffs only to their name. Both paranoias coming out from both sides. Big Tim T trying to get a Fade Eye in there to spot something out. Doesn't quite get it though. Booker T. Washington going to go ahead and throw that Omen smoke down to try to stop the push a little bit. Mark still holding this mid. Tries to get a shot on a Nightsin. Doesn't quite get it. Is going to go ahead and drone this out to see how many people they have. Real and Big Tim T both get spotted out. Nonchalant Asian going back through spawn. All four of them are going to be looking to push this B site. It is now time for Daydream to shine yet again with these setups. Can Booker T. Washington push past Nightsin with the Killjoy lockdown? Booker T. Washington with a quick rotate though. You already see three of them over there, maybe trying to sit, trying to get a pick, but they will just go ahead and sit outside of this Killjoy lockdown. Broken Arrow playing this a little bit interesting though. Instead of deciding to push off the Killjoy ulti, they force the rotate from Booker T. Washington over to the side of B. They spot out Nightsin just to sell the rotate even more while Hello World lurks up for that bomb plant.
Yeah, now you get these extra seconds from this rotation, and it's rattled Booker T, but ooh, Nonchalant getting caught out by Luca during that rotation. Going to be really, really rough here. Big Tim B
What a
finding
shot.
That's okay. Walking out with your life is more than okay there. But we do have the trades that follow up. I really like that play from Broken Arrow. A lot of ults committed on an eco round. I would have liked it seen with a little bit better of guns. And the last time that they won that eco round in round 4, it was when they were able to get the picks and capitalized on grabbing the guns. There they had to give up every single pick, which obviously you can't complain about the kills that you get, but really needed to try and use some utility to take that space, get those rifles, and be able to even the odds. Because a lot of that was really difficult even when Bomb got down and the advantage in rotation, because they were using pistols against rifles.
Yeah, right now, Broken Arrow looking to go back towards the B site. Don't want to ping pong around a little too much. They do have the stack on the side of Booker T though. Luca taking a nice shot, baiting a little bit for Mark. Don't know if they'll clear out Mark here. They don't. Mark manages to get 3 nice taps. One onto Looksy, one onto Real, one onto Big Tim T. Nonchalant Asian, the only one remaining. Does get pushed really quickly by Daydream and Mark. Mark does get taken out, but Daydream getting the quick trade. 9-2 here. Can Broken Arrow take this final round to get us a 9-3 curse going into the second half?
Yeah, it just seems like there's so many threats on Booker T. Washington's side. I mean, obviously they get the initial jet pick with the op, and just because of that worry, you're able to sink Mark deep into that corner. No one is expecting it and comes out with a quick 3-piece.
Yeah, Booker T going back to the old reliable, setting Mark and Daydream on Booker T. On Booker T's side over on B. The rest over on A, and it looks like they are going to go to A. The one-way coming out, Luca managing to get that pick. Isn't sure if somebody crossed, it looks like. Is going to decide to push up. Interesting play with this op. Does get spotted out by the Cypher Cam, though. Good play, deciding to back up there. Broken Arrow going to take some space, knowing that the Jet backs up there. Gonna bait out an orbit, looks like maybe looking to get knives online for Broken Arrow. But Broken Arrow being down a player, gonna decide to default a little more. We see Nightsin start looking over towards that B site to maybe try to get a sneaky little bomb plant. All of Booker T towards this A side.
And if you're Broken Arrow, you have 3 ultimates at your disposal here. It is last round, so we want to be able to see those committed. The Jet with the knives, and also Fade ulti. I think they're going to be using it in a post-plant situation to kind of get more intel, and the Cypher as well as intel. So you can have a lot of advantage on these rotations. Use them as much as possible. Be able to use the thing that you have been beating Booker T with, and that is your rotations and these team macro plays.
Fade ulti does come out to go ahead and check that site. Nightsin with a nice shot on a Daydream. Mark does get the pick onto Nightsin. Banksy getting one onto Nonchalant Asian as well. Looksy here trying to get the bomb down. Does manage to get it, but Luca does get the pick. And Big Tim T will go down to the hands of Luca. 10-2 going into the defensive half. Looking pretty dire for Broken Arrow. Definitely going to need this pistol round, or it's going to look a little rough. But like I was talking about at the beginning of the match, Broken Arrow does have a very defensive-sided comp on their hands. Looks like we'll send the Cypher towards the A site and the Killjoy towards the B site. Going to have to push into a Sentinel either way unless they decide to force it up mid, which it looks like is what the Fade is going to want to sit.
Yeah, these comps are now on their strong sides for both sides, and maybe that changes it up for Broken Arrow. Maybe they're really able to play through their comp's strengths whenever they have the opportunity. And you can never know. Maybe Booker T also struggles on these attacks, but Amnesia, you talked about it. That momentum. We watched Booker T win 9 straight rounds in attack, and it felt like Broken Arrow just had a couple of close rounds where there were only 1 or 2 left, but it doesn't show on the scoreboard. All it shows is that brutal 10-2 to walk into half here.
When you start getting into that groove, Looksy with a nice little Cypher setup here on A is going to go ahead and force Booker T out of there. Looks like we are going to see Daydream start lurking up here on B. The rest of their team still sitting over on A. Maybe looking towards mid, maybe looking to take tree here. But they are going to need this round.
Yeah, and Daydream looking to make that play, really get some awareness from Broken Arrow that, hey, we are still existing on the B side, even though these rotations from Broken Arrow, them coming over to the B side is the worst thing that can possibly happen for them.
Bomb gonna go down here for Booker T. Mark getting 2 nice picks onto Looksy and Real. The rest of Broken Arrow going to have to be on the backhand on this retake. Big Tim T going to throw out that eye to try to get some information. Doesn't quite get it. Does get spotted out by that KO knife. Luca taking out Big Tim T there. Only 2 players remaining. Nightson and Nonchalant Asian there in heaven. Mark gonna go for an aggressive play for it. Nonchalant Asian getting 2 nice shots onto Luca and Mark, looking very winnable for them. Doesn't quite get the shots that they want onto Daydream. Daydream cleaning up the final 2. Very scary round to lose for Broken Arrow. They're either going to have to force into this round and try and win, or they are just going to save for the match point.
What a huge play for Daydream on that pistol round. Not only did he get the 2 cleanup kills, but also the initial presence on the B side and being able to force those rotations put Broken Arrow into a really, really awkward spot where they had to retake really late, and it gave Booker T. Washington to be anywhere in the entire map for that retake situation. And it was really, really nice for them to be able to have that opportunity.
Yeah, Booker T going to go ahead and force into the B side. Nonchalant Asian getting taken out first. Looks like Broken Arrow decided to go for the side of the Sheriffs. So it looks like they might have a bye for this final round. Luca taking out Nightson as well. I think Broken Arrow is just playing for this next round.
Well, we talked about momentum.
both. Taking out 1. Last player remaining. Looksy there for Broken Arrow on low HP. 29 health remaining. Gonna maybe try to clean up 1 or 2. But it looks like gets 1 on the mark, actually.
And they started going hunting, but Booker T's pushed off a little bit. The last thing you want to do is give your opportunity to Broken Arrow for them to walk back into this round. Luca, though, feeling good, knowing that this player is low, really wanting to get that final kill and go to match point.
Yeah, Looksy just looking for as much as possible. Luca right behind him. Doesn't quite get spotted out.
Still looking for that kill. Not
doesn't quite get
there.
the peek.
And I honestly think that's a bad play. You don't get a lot of eco. You're not going to be able to actually buy up. I think he's forced to stick with the buggy here, no? It goes up to a Spectre, but still not a huge upgrade. That makes you affected on whether you get a rifle or an SMG, and that is a big, big change.
Yeah, Broken Arrow not quite getting the buy. I think they might have expected Booker T looking to just force up a little bit into Broken Arrow. Booker T just going really fast onto A site, just trying to clean up the rest of this round. Real kind of forced in a weird spot here. Does get spotted out. Looking to maybe get sprayed through the smoke here. Real manages to spray 1. Sees the TP onto Hello World. The trade is going to go in Real's favor. Ooh. Getting 3, getting 4! Real managing to get Broken Arrow back on the map, and that is where the momentum starts, because Booker T. Washington decided to take the force buy to try to quickly clean up the round, but doesn't quite have the economy now, is going to have to be forced to save, or yeah, it looks like they're going to have to be forced to save here. Broken Arrow now having a bit more money to buy up a little more. If Broken Arrow can manage to win this round as well, then it looks like that momentum might start shifting into Broken Arrow's favor to start getting some more rounds on their side.
Yeah, similar to what we saw in the pistol round, we see Booker T's going to try and play a little bit more spread, start leaning the A side, and I think this is smarter. That it did not look like a normal Booker T hit that we saw in that last round, that they just forced 5 down A main. It didn't take this map control, which they've been doing really, really well this entire game. But now we see them starting to get back to that. Yes, it's a pistol round, but it's still winnable. Just trying to make sure that they don't let Broken Arrow in. Real gets spotted on that off angle. Going to go back to Dice, looking for some util to kind of scare away some players. We have Mark 8836 taken out in rotation. Another really, really big player for Booker T taken down. He was taken down in the spray through in the last round too, and we saw how that went. So really, really good pick for Broken Arrow to get here.
Yeah, Booker T Washington forcing up a little bit into this mid. Real managing to take Luca out as well. Nonchalant Asian getting one in the Hello World as well. Decides to flip to that Sheriff to try to get another pick, but Daydream manages to get that headshot on a Nonchalant Asian. Looksy looking to back up. Gets a nice shot onto Bakesy, but Daydream will clean another one up. Daydream the only one remaining in a 1v2. Daydream now has a gun. Ooh. Getting a shot onto Real.
The nice
Broken Arrow was up 2, even 3 players at one point. Now is looking a little rough, but Booker T Washington does have to get the plant down if they want to stay in this round. Is Daydream going to be able to get to this site in time? 5, 4, I think started
so
it right in time. Daydream does manage to get the plant down.
I saw .01 there. That was crazy. Managing your time absolutely perfectly. Now in this 1v1, Nightson on Heaven, looking for Generator. Daydream.
Nightson cleaning up. Must have been very nervous there a little bit. 1v1 there on the final round of that match, but manages to clean it up, keeping Broken Arrow in the game. The momentum going to start swinging back in BA's favor.
Yeah, really, really big play by Nightson, being able to advance to the next round. I thought it was good play by Daydream too, being able to isolate those 1v1s, catch out the KO into tree, and managing your time really well. Like, that's an opportunity if you're Booker T, and especially when you're up 12-4, you'll take those every day of the week. Lose a gunfight, that's okay, you just go to the next round.
Yep, and it looks like Booker T is going to have the economy this time. They were on Sheriff's last round. Broken Arrow, is going to decide to force up a little more, getting a couple Odins on their side. Of course, Ascent being one of those spammy maps. The Odin being great to shoot through that wall, especially on B side. It looks like that's exactly what Nonchalant Asian is going to look to do here. Gets a little bit of damage onto Mark there. Doesn't quite get it, although does get spotted out, but manages to jet dash out of Mark's ultimate. That's an ultimate down for Booker T. Luca managing to get some space here onto Switch. Is going to force into Nonchalant Asian. Not quite expecting him to be right there. Gets 2 with the Odin. Banksy and Mark coming back, though. Now into a 3v3. Real having this Odin here. Bomb is going to go down. Mark gets a nice shot onto Big Tim T there. Mark just looking like the final boss in this match here. Blixie is going to decide to use that Cypher ultimate to try to get their team on the site. Daydream in main manages to get the shot onto Luxie. Real, the only one remaining, gets the shot onto Daydream. Can Real manage to bring this back for Broken Arrow? Mark, the one who seems to be able to do it all, manages to get an amazing final shot there, cleaning up the round. And, you know, it's like I was saying, Mark doing a great job on defense and on attack, managing to clean up and defend so well for their team. Definitely the MVP there for Booker T Washington. Broken Arrow starting to get a little bit more in their favor. Yep. I think what really hurt Broken Arrow is the fact that they were playing a defensive-sided comp and had to start on attack. And it looks like, you know, the mental can be part of it, is their mental was probably trending downwards, especially after losing so many rounds in a row when they needed that defensive half. but they also were just kind of forced in a bad scenario,
Right.
having to play on that attack side first.
Yeah, playing with your hands tied going into your optimal rounds is going to be a really, really big struggle no matter what team you are. And any team is going to struggle after sliding 9 rounds in a row to end a half. Honestly, Broken Arrow looked really good in the last couple rounds in the second half and a decent amount of the first half as well. A lot of those rounds went really close, could have flipped either way. We do walk away with a 13-4 Booker T. Washington win, and Mark 368 being able to put up a stat line of 29-9 was his final KD, which is just crazy to think about. And also, just talking about the amount of information that they had on their team. I felt like everyone I saw on Broken Arrow was getting recon, getting scanned by all of these things, hitting trips. It was really, really like lopsided in that sort of area. So it was really impressive to see from Booker T. Washington.
Yeah, that's where the Sova Cypher KO comes into big play. But thank you guys for checking out our match of the week for Valorant. We were Garrett and Jackson, or Amnesia and Fuzzball, with the Oklahoma Esports League. We will see you on Thursday for some Rainbow Six Siege.